Good morning, students. We have started with the chapter work and energy. Okay. Now, previously we have done with the what is the meaning of the work. It is the product of the force and displacement. Today we are starting the topic what is the meaning of energy. Now we are familiar with this word energy. What is the meaning of the energy? The capacity to do work is called energy. Okay, in this chapter we are going to study what is the meaning of energy and what are the various forms of the energy and the derivation of both potential energy and the kinetic energy. Okay, so today we are studying energy. The capacity of the body to do work is called energy. Now energy, it is of two types, potential energy and kinetic energy. Now broadly this is are classified into two types, potential energy and kinetic energy. The energy possessed by the body due to virtue of its position or change in the shape. Now we can consider the potential energy due to the virtue of its position or change in the shape. For example, we can consider if an object is at one place and not moving. Okay, if we consider that if an object is constant and it is there at one place, it is having the potential energy because it is having its own mass. Okay, and it is not moving, so due to its position we can consider that it is having the potential energy. This can also be considered, for example, if we consider suppose the water it is stored in a dam, that will also be having the potential energy. Okay, the person is sitting, okay, that is also having the potential energy. So under the rest position, okay, when it is not moving and having the own mass and he is sitting at one position, that can be considered as a potential energy. So we are studying energy, the capacity of the body to do work, it is called energy. Okay, and energy is basically two types. Potential energy, the energy possessed by the body due to virtue of its position or the change in the shape, it is called as the potential energy. And the next one, it is of the kinetic energy. Kinetic energy, the energy possessed by the body due to virtue of its motion. When an object is under motion, it is said to be have the kinetic energy. Now again I am giving the same example of the dam. When the water was stored in a dam, it was having the potential energy. But when the water start flowing, then due to the flowing it is having the kinetic energy. Okay, so these are the two type of the energy, potential energy and kinetic energy. So we can conclude that the energy possessed due to the position or configuration or change in the shape can be considered as potential energy. And when the object is under the motion, that can be called as the kinetic energy. Okay, now the next we are considering the derivation of the potential energy. Now suppose an object is there. Okay, what we are doing, we are taking this object to a height h above the ground. This is the ground level, and from the ground we are bringing the object just at this point. Okay, so what we are doing, we are considering an object of mass m. Okay, let us raise to a height h above the ground. Now the minimum force, now for doing this we are supposed to do the work. Okay, so the minimum force required to raise the object is equivalent to the weight of the object. To raise this object, what we have to do, we apply the force equivalent to this weight. And we know that in the gravitation chapter we have studied about the weight is a product of the mass and the acceleration, and here we are considering the gravitational acceleration. So it is raised to the height and it is equivalent to the weight of the object, which is equivalent to mg. Okay, so we are deriving the potential energy. First we will write the definition of the work. According to work, we know that it is the product of the force and displacement. Now we know that F is equivalent to mg by Newton's second law, and here S is the displacement, or it is the distance which it travel, but here it is distance it is traveling in the form of the height. So in the place of h we are substituting the value h. Okay, so we are writing W equal to, in the place of F we will write mg, and S will write the h. So finally we will be getting W equal to mgh. Now to do the work we have to apply the energy, and here energy which we are applying can be called as the potential energy, which can be equivalent to m into g into h. So in the numerical, whenever we want to calculate the potential energy, we will be writing the formula potential energy equivalent to the mgh. It is the product of the mass, gravity and the height. Okay, so what we have studied today, we have studied the energy. Energy is the capacity to do work. Okay, energy it is basically of the two type. The one, it is the potential energy, and another is the kinetic energy. Okay, potential energy is the energy possessed due to its position or configuration, and kinetic energy possessed due to the motion. Okay, and we are deriving the derivation of potential energy. For that you have to consider an object of mass small m. Let it to be raised to a height h above the ground. So in doing this we have to do the work. So we are writing W equal to F into S, because we know that the work done is the product of the force and displacement. Now according to the Newton's second law, we know that F equal to m into g. So in the place of F we'll write m into g, and here the distance covered, our distance covered is in the form of the height. Okay, so we will be writing h here. So W will be equal to m into g into h. Okay, and S is substituted by h. And finally this work done, since we are applying the energy, so the potential energy EP here denotes the potential energy. It will be equivalent to the m into g into h.